The year is 2022 and I am still doing police chases in Grand Theft Auto 3. Hello everybody, my name is James and this is, it's an old game. It's a game from the distant past, but one that has been brought back to the present with slightly questionable results. Why am I playing Grand Theft Auto 3 on mobile, folks? Well, you might notice that yesterday I put a video live covering Alien Isolation, the port that was recently done and put onto iOS, and it is, not to find a pointer in it, woo! Fantastic. Go check out that video after this one if you want to have a look. But it got me thinking about, ports of games that have worked well on mobile. And it made me think about the Grand Theft Auto franchise, because when these games were originally ported over to mobile, they looked pretty much the part. They in fact became the basis of the PC ports that appeared later. However, I always had a slight problem with them because the controls were a mess. If I tap the screen right now, you can see, look at the controls. They pop up for just a moment. That was always a bit of an issue for me, and it kind of put a dampener on me enjoying the games or recommending them as this is the place where you should definitely play them. However, this clicking, you can hear right here, is the sound of my Xbox controller, which is now connected to my iPhone, because if you've got an Xbox controller or any of the MFI controllers lying around, like with Alien Isolation, you can just connect it up via Bluetooth and play away as if you're playing the console version. And that really changes the game, especially when you consider that, at least for a while, and possibly still at the moment, this is one of the few places you can still get the original GTA Remastered Trilogy, because that version that was released recently, the one with all the weird rain, and the one with all the terrible glitches, and the one that was just basically very, very bad, became the only version you could get on Steam. Now, apparently, if you bought the version after Rockstar's apology, they did allow you to download the original version again, but only if you've bought that version. I still can't see it on Steam right now. It was delisted. So this version right here that I'm playing. And that's a problem, because this is still the version that if you're going to play the game you would rather be playing, and to have it unavailable on lots of app stores everywhere is an issue. It's still available on the mobile app stores though. You head on over to iTunes, God, no one uses iTunes anymore. You head over to the App Store and you will be able to find all three of the original trilogy games, either as a bundle for about 15 quid or individually if you want. And provided you've got a controller lying around, and you definitely do have a controller lying around somewhere, I'm sure, you can go for the jumps, yes, get involved with the original games all over again and play them in a way that I can now recommend without too many caveats. The other issue this highlighted was digital preservation, the idea that at a moment's notice, if games are only digital, if they only exist on app stores and have no physical counterparts, then they can potentially be removed at a moment's notice and you can't get hold of them anymore, which is exactly what happened to the original trilogy, because they decided that's the old version, we want you to go and get the new version. Understandably, because that's how we're going to make our money. I got in the car there. Instead of getting, I'm flipping between games, as you can clearly see. And that's problematic because if that newer version is inferior or just not the version that you want to play, it's suddenly vanished. Unless you've somehow got it hidden away in an old library or something, then it sort of disappears and becomes a non-thing. And that's problematic, and it's an issue we've had with the app stores going way back to its inception. There are some games that I would still like to play that were originally created a good few years ago. I'm thinking about there's a game called Papa Sangre from around about the 2014, 15 era, and you can't get it anymore. It just doesn't work on the current version of iOS. And these games are sort of lost to time unless you have an old phone with an older version of iOS installed, which you probably don't. So these things have a tendency of vanishing forever, unless they are preserved in some way. And weirdly, we now have a situation where if you want to play the Grand Theft Auto trilogy as you know and love it, thanks to the advent of Bluetooth controller compatibility with everything and the existence of these games on the App Store, the fact they haven't been removed, this is probably one of the best ways to play it now. I am now sitting here saying that if you want to play the original version of GTA's 3, Vice City, and San Andreas, play them on mobile with a controller because it's better than the new versions that were released on PC, and you're gonna have a nicer time. Isn't that weird? So if you want to give these versions a go, they are all still available on the App Store. Get your controller out and play them as Rockstar intended. Close to how they intended. And check out Alien Isolation, because it's another fantastic port of a PC game that plays just beautifully on mobile. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.